Good morning, everyone. We're excited to bring to you an interview with a distinguished JPS alumnus who has excelled in both academics and entrepreneurship, particularly with his startup ScoutMe, which is set to transform soccer scouting in India. With perfect IBTP score of 47-45 and top marks in his IGCSE exams, including being the country topper in history, his journey is a testament to excellence and innovation. A major in computer science and mathematics, his love for technology and soccer has driven his remarkable achievements. Join us as we explore the insights, experiences, and aspiration of a remarkable individual who embodies the pursuit of excellence and innovation. To break the suspense, it is Arjun Pandey, who is currently at Stanford University pursuing computer science.
So reflecting on your successful college application to Stanford, could you share your approach to preparing the application process? Like, what tips or advice would you have for aspiring students who are looking forward to apply to such a competitive university?
Yeah, for sure. I guess one of the main pieces of advice is to be genuine. You really want to translate who you are as a person, and what's super unique about you, and because these selective colleges, what they're trying to do is at the end of the day, create like a holistic class. So they want people who cover different facets, and people like me can talk to people from different backgrounds. So it's really important to really communicate why you belong to this sort of university and what unique aspect you bring to this class that you're going to be a part of for 4 years. I guess the best piece of advice that I got while applying was um, that I need to show something that I'm the best at. And I feel like that's what everyone should do. Really hammer down on something that they think they can present in the best way to the admission counselors, because at the end of the day you have to convince one person to make a case for you in the committee, and that person needs to be really backing you or backing this one aspect of you that you can add to this class. Apart from that, it's like an iterative process. No one writes a perfect essay on their first go, so
Yeah.
really keep on iterating over what you've done, and try to make sure that your essays like really hammer down on these genuine aspects of you and different facets of your personality. It's more important to communicate who you are than one thing that you've done. So those were a couple of the aspects I focused on, what I realized during my application period.
All right.
Makes sense. Right. So my question to you is that which activity of yours do you think contributed the most to your college application, except Scout Me or maybe Scout Me? How did you come up with this idea, and what challenges did you face while executing it?
Yeah, I guess Scout Me was a huge thing, and everything we did alongside Scout Me. Um, I can't pinpoint one thing, but I guess a general theme in my application was a lot of things related to soccer and sports in general. So I really like that aspect, showed that I was committed to something and I was taking it to the next level, which I think, like I said, is really important.
Yeah.
It was a huge part of my high school journey, and I really tried to hammer down on it throughout my application period. Another thing was I really wanted to communicate I'm someone who likes to do, not talk about it. And it was just a diversity of projects I put down on my activity list. I think really stood my way. Uh, and why I say that is because they might not be the best, most large scale projects, but they just showed a pattern of me thinking about something and then coming up with a solution for it. And that's what the general theme that I sort of try to portray, or something that I'm really passionate about. And
Right.
yeah, I don't want to pinpoint something because I feel like people will just go and hone in and do everything they can to research about it and replicate it. But yeah, it's just that something you like, try to take it to the next level, see what you can do.
Yeah, so basically pick up any passion that you have and take it further.
Yeah, pick up and or really try to think about what gets you going. It needs to be something that comes naturally to you. You don't try to force it. Um, and I think that's what stands out the most. I know a lot of people who have unique, crazy activities that really stood out for them. Just show that they're true to what they're passionate about, and are committed to um, exploring it deeper, because these colleges are looking for people who are intellectually curious, looking to dive down deeper into stuff they already know something about, or stuff that gets them going. And I think that's really important to communicate your intellectual vitality.
All right. Yeah. So
Maybe a follow-up question to that. One
yeah,
second. Right. So you talked about that how it's not necessary to have the most unique projects. So doing projects which is completely diverse. Would you suggest that that's a good way to go about if you know that you're passionate about it?
Wait, say that again. Doing projects that are completely diverse.
Yeah, so I was saying that, would you suggest people to go for diverse projects, diverse activities, maybe one about one organization about speech and another about maybe LGBTQ community? So would you require that, or would you want them to be streamlined at one particular thing that they want to focus on?
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, that's what I did. Try to like hammer down on like the different things, like sort of the check mark of like have being a part of an NGO, starting a company, doing a research paper. I don't think like that's really necessary. It doesn't have to be a diverse project. It just you need to show commitment and passion towards it. You need to like I feel like if you're genuinely motivated by something, you have enough time and enough resources to really take it to the next level and have an impact with it. And that's at the end of the day what you're trying to communicate. So like diverse or not diverse, um, it should be a genuine sort of interest towards whatever you're doing. And I think that's like pretty easy to identify. Like if you are genuine in what you're doing,
Right.
and eventually, like the stuff you do, like incrementally, will show a common pattern that like ultimately you're going to talk about.
yeah, of course. So while we're on the subject of projects that you could do, we know for a fact that you were honored with the Bal Shakti Puraskar, which is
Yeah,
basically the highest civilian honor for children. And you also got the
yeah.
chance to meet the President and the Prime Minister of India. So, how did you feel while you were receiving the award? And more importantly, how did you celebrate afterwards?
It was awesome. Who doesn't like to meet the president? Doesn't happen every day, you know. Yeah, I mean, just felt like really privileged to be there. It's honestly a matter of luck about who gets it. And I got really lucky. Had an amazing time meeting the other awardees too, which I think was like a unique part of the experience. For 7 days, you were talking about all they've done and all that they plan to do. And one of the co-awardees, Shaurya, he studies at Stanford too, and today he's one of my closest friends. Um, so yeah, and celebration. I don't think I really celebrated. I just like
You were on cloud
my
nine. It was
parents were with
just,
me, so that was super nice because I lived in boarding school, and yeah, I just had a good week with my parents and all these awardees, and then back to the grind.
all right. Yeah. So, what would you say, looking back, was the one thing that you did wrong during your 11th, 12th, and that you would like to kind of correct, maybe?
Yeah, I think I like to sort of focus on this before. I was following this check mark of like what I need to do to get into Stanford. I don't think that is like a right check mark. Um, don't try to like fit yourself into like I had an elder brother who was who was already studying at UPenn, and in many ways I was sort of like strive for the application he created, and I don't think that's the way to go about it. There's no like set check mark that's going to get you into college. It's ultimately setting yourself as a person, and you should focus on like improving yourself or improving certain aspects that you're like I said, passionate about, and that's what I think I would have like in retrospect done better. It's just like really taking time to like reflect about what really gets me going and what do I think I'm passionate about the most, and then try to like carve certain niches out of that. So um, and I think to a certain extent, I finally realized that at the end of sort of 11th grade. But also, it was just a constant pressure to fit into a mold, which I don't think anyone has to do.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. I think even my younger brother would kind of, uh, relate to that advice.
Okay. Who's your younger or elder?
Younger, younger.
Okay, okay.
So I think
How
this
old is he?
advice is for him.
Okay. How old is he?
He's in ninth right now. He's 2 years younger to me.
Okay. So he's gonna give his board exams in a year and a half.
Yeah, next year it's just his boards, so
Oh, in a
constant
year,
pressure.
yeah. Fine. Okay. All the best to him.
I'll wish him from your side.
awesome.
Right. So, you know, definitely I can, see the ambition that drives you, like you said, back to the grind. So maybe like, when you knew that you want to pursue CS at Stanford, what experiences did you have, going through that entire emotional journey of writing the common apps and the supplemental essays?
Yeah. Ooh, emotional journey. Yeah, man. I mean, it's like such an uncertain period in your life. Um, you don't know where you're gonna end up. Like 6 months from now, when you're actually committing to college. So it's a lot about dealing with like rejections too. Like if someone says no to you, that's a totally fine thing. Don't deep it at all. I think ultimately, like I didn't come to terms with the fact that I'm not gonna get in everywhere, but you have to realize that wherever you end up, you're just gonna be happy and you're gonna have like you're gonna find a good group of friends and you're gonna have the time of your life. And while you're gonna be working um, as hard as you ever have. In terms of like the college application process, um, I don't know. I was like, it was just a good mixture of stress and excitement. I was finally ready to like put down on paper that all that I've like been working towards. So I think that like sort of contributed to like how much effort I eventually ended up putting into my applications. And then obviously you're a bit nervous because all of this like 4 years that you've spent like converge into college apps, board exams, and so on and so forth. So it's really important to like stay calm and collected. Take out time to like just be with your friends and have a good time because nothing better than the final year of your high school. And
Mhm.
yeah, just like try to be balanced, try to be focused, and eventually everything will work out.
Yeah.
Right. Um, you know, as we see, like I watched a video of yours where you explained that you didn't get a extremely high score on your first attempt at the SAT, right? And then you practiced a lot. So, what advice would you give to people, students maybe in grade 10, 11, and 12 right now, who are going to 12 next year? What advice would you give them that what they can practice, how they should go about the SAT, and which section, if they find challenging, how they sort of what their approach should be to that sort of questions?
Yeah, I mean, I generally think the SAT is not a test of like how smart you are. It's just a test of like how well you can take a test. So again, trust your instinct, and that's one thing I don't think I did is like I overthought everything, and instead of um, whatever you're doing practices, try to find commonalities in what they're asking. Try to find general themes of where you're going wrong and try to improve upon them. For me, it was like specific type of grammar that I was like really not doing well on, and eventually once I realized like the patterns I'm going on wrong on, you work on them and you should be fine. So just like I think the most important thing is like get a good night's rest on test day. Do not like some stress is fine, but like do not overthink it and just go give it your best shot with like whatever happens type of mentality. Because that was like eventually ended up being my best score. That I was like, okay, I mean, whatever happens. I got a beautiful sleep and I just went in, took the test, and did really well. Um, so once you've prepped enough, like don't overthink it at all. Like it's not meant to like trick you in any way. It's asking you a straightforward question, give you a straightforward gut instinct answer.
Yeah, I think that
Right.
makes sense. So moving on to less serious topics, we know that you're currently pursuing a computer science course at Stanford. So could you just like pinpoint maybe the exact moment or like the exact instance when you realized that that was what you wanted to do? And if you have anything planned for like the future, if you would like to share your long-term goals or anything, that would be great too.
Ooh, long-term goals. That's such a because I mean the like sort of time you guys are going through being in like 11th grade, eventually applying to college. It's a similar time in college for me right now. Figuring out internships, figuring out what I'm going to be after I get done graduating next year. Um, when did I realize I wanted to do computer science? There was not like one aha moment. I'm like, oh, I'm so good at this. I need to study this. It's just like again, an incremental process of you realizing, oh, this is something that gets me going. This is something like really piques my interest and keeps me longer than I need to be, like, than the assigned time I need to spend, like, on computer science. And I think that's what everyone should, like, do, is, like, really think about, oh, what is one thing that you would, in your own free time, really dedicate to doing? And then you eventually, when you have an answer, that's exactly what you should be studying. And for me, it was always like engineering problems that like really got me going. And computer science is just one mechanism of like engineering, right? Or like one facet of engineering. I feel like I could have done any form of engineering and been happy with it. It was just like the aspect of always being involved with the technical that really interests me. It was something new, something constantly evolving, something uncertain, and something with a lot of space to like grow.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a great way to look at CS. Uh, Also, uh, you were a hostler, and we have heard a lot of things from Anju ma'am, Karna ma'am, Jiraj sir
Are
about
you guys
you.
in the hostel? Oh no, she's
Yeah,
not.
Prana is in the
Yes,
hostel.
Okay.
yeah, she's a day board, I'm a hostler. So,
Okay.
so what do you think? How do you think that the hostel, as a whole, plays a role in your high school years or maybe in your college application process? What's the support
Yeah.
system like for you?
Yeah. Um, I mean, there's nothing better than living with your four best friends in like high school. You know, you can do like whatever you want and just have the time of your life. I think it's really important to understand like the moment you grow the most are going to be through the conversations you have with the people around you. It's not going to be sitting at a computer taking a Khan Academy course. I generally think you learn the best from people. And being a part of the hostel, like, not only made me, like, it made me able to, like, be having those conversations around me with my friends around me, like, 24/7, and always learning about, like, the nitty gritties of, like, people from diverse backgrounds. And I think that was, like, at the moment, I wouldn't have said that, but, like, looking back, it's, like, it makes you realize how important of experience that is to, like, keep on growing through these conversations. So just cherish the, like, time you have with your friends, and, like, I don't think you should sacrifice that at any cost.
Would you also like to share a story that you cherish a lot about the hostel?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say there's like any specific story, but like one routine my friends and I had was usually Sunday you get to sleep in early, right? I guess there's two things. We always had like a routine of getting up early in the mornings and playing soccer. I think those were the best moments because we used to play soccer for an hour and a half. And it used to be 30 minutes before like our Sunday Maggie would be ready. And we would just like sit and chat and like have a great time to ourselves, like stress free. School's not for another 24 hours. So you're just like chilling and like just talking
Yeah.
about like stuff that is genuinely concerning you, stuff that is like genuinely interesting you. And I think those are like my best moment. And the other time was during our board exams, or like while we were studying for our board exam, we used to like grind every like week. And then Saturday night or Friday and Saturday nights, we used to like sit down at like 8 p.m. and just like play video games till like 4 a.m. in the morning. And like, I don't think like I would have like sacrificed anything to like replace those moments because sometimes you just gotta like, I think your best learnings are done away from books. And when you're generally giving time to like, giving it time for like everything you've learned in the week to like sort of materialize and ferment in your brain. And just those moments where you're stressed, like you're stressed at the back of your mind, but you're like in an environment that like is conducive to like releasing or lowering your cortisol levels is super important to have. And I think that's what the hostel enables, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I feel the moments you remember from high school or even college are not the ones where you spent studying books. You remember the fun stuff.
100%.
Also,
Yeah.
we as students have this assumption that college life would be much more relaxed than IB. So, do you think it's true? Maybe at Stanford, is the campus more focused on academics or holistic development, or you're much more relaxed? What would you like to say on this?
No, I mean, think I've worked as hard as I've worked in my 3 years so far. I mean, one thing, I mean, I might be like underqualified to say this, but it only gets harder from here for you guys and here for me. So, yeah, it's not going to come easy at all. It can come easy, but like, why make it easy when you can make it interesting, you know?
True.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty cool. So now I think that's enough on the serious topic of discussion. Let's do a fun Stanford snapshot round to give aspiring
Okay.
students a brief glimpse into the lives of the Cardigans. Right.
Okay.
So the first question, say one word that comes to your mind when I say Stanford.
Ooh, nerd.
That's crazy.
Okay. Could you share a moment at Stanford that took you completely by surprise?
In
Something.
one word.
No, no, not one word. You can describe an experience.
In a
Anything
sentence.
that you weren't expecting.
Completely by surprise. Oh, oh, that's such a good question. How about we circle back to that one? Let me think about it.
All right.
All right, I'll ask the next one.
Yeah.
What's your favorite spot on the campus and why?
My favorite spot?
Yeah.
Ooh. Um, in front of our library, we have this small sort of compound. It's called Maya Green. You should look up pictures of it. It's absolutely phenomenal. In the spring, people just sit out there and do their work. It's beautiful, just good vibes all around. Just sitting with your lads, just having a good job and like having a good time. So I think that would be my favorite time, my favorite spot.
Yeah. What would be the one word you would like to, reflect back on as your first day at Stanford?
Nervous.
Nervous.
I
Would you
think
also
I
like
would
to add
relate
two
to
more
that.
words to it?
Nervous and I guess overwhelmed and um, jet lagged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good point.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't hear excited in that, but
Yeah, the excitement comes later.
okay.
First it's just scary.
Okay. So what's the best meal you've had around campus and where can you find it?
Ooh. Um, we get these like fish tacos. Um, and you can find it at a lot of spots, but they like make them super early. Um, and it's like fried fish and then tacos on top of that. And yeah, it just makes you think that you're like they're incredible. I mean, they're not even like healthy at all. It's just like a tortilla, fried fish, coleslaw, and some sauce. But I think one day I had like 7 of those, and trust me, that's a lot. A normal person eats like 2 to 3 for reference. Yeah, just like good food. And I associate it more with like just like that. I sat down with my friends in a dining hall for 2 hours and just kept on eating, kept on chatting.
Oh wow. I think food doesn't have to be healthy, so as long as you enjoy it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
You ask, yeah.
Which Stanford tradition has resonated with you the most and why?
Yeah, that's this crazy tradition that I'm pretty sure you guys don't know about. But basically, there's one day that everyone wakes up at like 4 a.m. So basically, like it's like a Sunday morning, so you're out Saturday night, 1 a.m. having fun, and then you wake up again 4 a.m. and everyone just takes a train up to San Francisco and is like having fun partying in the train, and then they walk 5 miles, and this is the entirety of Stanford that does this, and it's just like an awesome time because you were just having fun. You slept for 2 hours, but like you're on the train again, and everyone's there, and everyone floods the city. Like it's a whole thing. The San Franciscans are gonna come to the city. There's a lot of police everywhere, and you just walk for 5 miles, Then after that, you're absolutely exhausted. So you get like a nice meal somewhere, and then the next day you're just dead. But it's so worth it.
I would love to experience it if I do land over there.
Yeah, I mean, even if you like don't like, it's something worth coming down here for.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's a piece of advice you've received from the Stanford community that has really stuck with you?
Oh, by the way, it's called Beta Breakers. I forgot to mention the name. It's called Beta Breakers. Beta Breakers is a run that happens in SF. It's also the event that Stanford does. What's the best piece of advice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. I mean, who? I guess just be curious. Just like, I recently learned that I had to take the psychology class, and like in that, I learned that you learn best until the age of 25, and after that, you just get slow and slow until you're dumb. So before you're 25, just try to like
Cram
learn
everything
the
in your
most.
head.
Just have fun learning, and I guess the other piece of advice is, uh, uh, I guess, have a good time. Have a good time doing whatever you have or what you're doing. Life's never going to be that deep that you're stressed that much that you leave everything and study for days on end. Remember to have fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Deep.
Yeah.
Pranay, you can take the last question.
Yeah. Could you recommend or maybe disclose a hidden gem, maybe in campus or near the campus, that many shouldn't be knowing about, but you do know about it?
If I say it, then I'm disclosing it, right?
No, but that's the fun of it.
Right.
Then people can come and
Yeah.
explore.
Ooh. Is that the fun of it? Stanford has like these. I don't know if this is super fun. I can't be saying like fun stuff around you guys because that won't sit right with Charu man. But I guess what is cool or is like a Stanford thing is like we have underground tunnels and they were built like way back. So it's like a thing that everyone has to see those tunnels at least once in their life. And it's just like a random night you go with your friends. Or I mean, another thing is a lot of people like to climb roofs. So like you just find like 5 people in the middle of the night on the roof of Memorial Church, which I don't think like was known at all. But like just sitting at a roof having fun with your friends is
So, like at night,
pretty.
they're just
So,
hanging
so
out.
is it allowed to? Are you
No,
guys allowed
absolutely
to
not.
go to that? No, right?
No, you just like it's the middle of the night. You just climb a roof and that's pretty much it. You just sit there,
Maybe see the stars or
Right.
something.
maybe see the stars. Yeah, it doesn't have to be that.
Okay. Circling back to that question that I said at the starting, can you share a moment at Stanford that took you completely by surprise?
Yeah, I guess one thing. I mean, there have been a lot of surprises, but that was just like this might be super academic, but like I guess I took a class last quarter where I had an exam that was 24 hours long. And what I mean by that is like you're working for 24 hours, and it just made me realize like, oh, this place expects so much out of you, and that just gives you even more validation to do better. Is because if they're expecting you to work for 24 hours, they believe in you to work for 24 hours, and I think that says wonders about like the type of education you're doing.
Wow.
Okay.
Right. Again, circling around the question that I asked in the beginning, how did you land in that Bill Gates dinner?
Oh, just friends, man. Friends get you places. Just make good friends.
We would like to be introduced to such friends. I mean,
Yeah,
Definitely.
one day, hopefully.
yeah, of course. So I think
But before we end this interview, what would you say is the best advice for us right now in grade 11? You talked about being happy, enjoying life, sharing moments, but then accept that some advice that you believe is essential for all of us and that you know about it and not many people follow it.
Yeah, I mean, I said this before. Be your own person, man. Uh, no one. Uh, I guess someone said this to me in JPIs, or someone said this to me here. It was just like a random thing, but it stuck with me. It was like, why try to fit in when you can stand out? And genuinely, like, why are you trying to fit into a mold when you can genuinely be your own person? So really, spend time like I said, having a good time, but also introspecting about who you are as a person and where do you see yourself like thriving the most in life. Um, yeah, no one's forcing you to like go become a computer science major. No one's forcing you to study econ. It's your own choice. You can do whatever you want, and you should do whatever you want.
Yeah,
True.
definitely.
It's a great advice. Yeah. Do you think that scheduling is very important in high school as well?
No, don't. I mean, yeah, like be on top of your things. Just don't go crazy with a Google Calendar.
Yeah.
The longer you can go without a Google Calendar and still be fine is like honestly the smarter you are.
And I think better at remembering dates and time and stuff. You don't
Yeah,
need a
I mean if you
calendar.
want to, like you can. It's trust me, it's not that deep. Just how many meetings a day do you guys have? Like 20?
Yeah.
No, not that much.
Like, exactly. But like I mean, uh, sometimes like some semesters you have a lot going on. Like every day I have like class section. I meet with my research mentor. Um, I might be having a call for like with some company. So there's a lot going on there, like in college. In high school, just take it chill, you know. Even if you miss a call, it's not that bad.
Right. There's this theory that whichever college you get into, you also talked about this when you said that, be happy, be contented where you land. But then,
Yeah.
do you think that always the college that you generally land, maybe, let's say you didn't go to Stanford, maybe you went to Brown, right? Both are prestigious, but maybe Brown wasn't your dream. But you got in over there. So would you still feel that whichever college you get into means that you're the best fit for it, or it's just luck associated with where you belong?
There's no such thing as fit, man. I mean, at least I don't think so. I mean, there is a certain like. Okay, let me take that back. There is fit, but like, I feel like generally outgoing social people will like find their way at a lot of places. Because, like I said, a lot of these colleges, most colleges, are trying to create diverse classes of holistic people, which are going to be that you're going to find a group of outgoing social people. Schools like Caltech, they're like super small. They usually take a certain niche of population. So there you have to be mindful about, oh, would I really fit in and have fun here? But generally, bigger schools, like you're gonna find your circle of people. You're gonna find that regular experience or like that experience you're looking for. Like no one cares about like you only care about the school you go to until you get there. Like literally the hype of Stanford dies down the first day you get here, and from then on you're like having the same experience as everyone else. It's what like it's like what really differentiates is like the people around here are like just like way more motivated. That motivates you, and then the network around here is crazy. But if you like just like regularly take classes and like that sort of experience in college, it's all the same.
Alright, so I think we've taken up enough of your time. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as we did.
Yep,
Thank
I
you.
did.
Alright. Yeah. Thank you so
It
much
was
for.
great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.